Hi everyone. So today we're going to go ahead and do the insertion sort. So again, I do apologize that it's a little blurry, but I kind of have to make do with what I have. So let's talk about insertion sort and how it's kind of different from the previous sorts, such as bubble sort and selection sort. So the way that insertion sort works that's different is we're basically going to use the idea that in an array of just one item, let's just say if we were to look at just the 7 by itself, right? So if this array was only one item long, then 7 is in fact the smallest number in that array, right? So if it's an item, if there's only one item in the array, then you can deduce that it is the smallest value in the array. So therefore the array is then sorted. But if I introduce two items, or I introduce another item, now you have to do a comparison to check if that item is smaller than the current existing item. And that's essentially how insertion sort works. We're basically going to take a look at one item at a time. We're going to introduce a new item, and then we're going to correctly put that into the smaller array. Then we're going to introduce another item, and then we're going to make sure that it moves to its correct location. Introduce another item, make sure it moves to its correct location, and then again, once we reach the end, that will be the end of our insertion sort. So let's go ahead and get started. So, as I mentioned, the only item that we know for certain is sorted right now is this 7. So we have visited the 7, and we know that in an array of just one item, the 7 is the smallest value. So now let's introduce the 5, right? So we're going to go ahead and move that down. Let me go ahead and just move this a little bit. There you go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move the 5 down a little bit here. So now let's just check. Is 5 less than 7? It's not. So that means the 5 needs to go in this position here. So what's going to happen is we're going to move the 7 from here to here and then insert the 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of this. And the 7 is now going to move this way. So it takes its place here. And then that means the 5 is going to go ahead and be inserted here. And now, in the context of this small, of just the numbers that we have visited so far, that is incorrect order. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and introduce a new number, the 4. So let's go ahead and bring it down here. And now, is 4 less than 7? It is. Is 4 less than 5? It is. But since this is the end of the array here, that means 4 goes into this spot here. So what we do is we just move the 4 out of the way, and we have a temporary holding position for the 4. The 7 is going to shift this way, and the 5 is also going to shift this way. So the 7 goes here, and the 5 will go here. And then we can insert the 4 into this location right here. And again, look at the context of the items that we have visited so far. It's in correct order. So the cool thing about insertion sort and what makes it really useful is you can keep inserting things one at a time, and everything gets sorted as it's added in. Okay? So now let's move on to the 6. Let's go ahead and visit this. So let's bring this down here. 6. Is 6 less than 7? It is. Is 6 less than 5? It is not, which means it goes in between the 5 and the 7, so it's going to go ahead and take this spot right here. So again, we move the 6 out of the way so that the 7 can shift over here. And since this spot is now free, the 6 will go ahead and take its place here. Or when you're doing this in code, it's not necessarily it frees up the space, but it will literally look like 7, 7, and then you get to a point in the code where you just say that this index becomes this temp variable. So just keep that in mind. But essentially, this is what's going on, right? So again, look at the context of the numbers that we have visited so far in the array. It's still in order. So now let's visit this last number, the 2. Let's go ahead and bring it down to a temporary holding spot, and let's check. Is 2 less than 7? It is. Is 2 less than 6? It is. Is 2 less than 5? It is. And of course 2 is less than 4, which means it's going to go all the way here. That means we have to shift every single item in our array this way. Okay? So that means the 7 is going to go here. The 6 is going to go here. The 5 is going to go here. The 4 is going to go here. And of course, the 2 is going to be shifted into this location here. And now we've hit the end of the array, so we can go ahead and look. And, well, our array is indeed sorted. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, this is how the insertion sort works.